You might be struggling from an old covenant mindset. Now the way you might know that you're struggling from an old covenant mindset is if you're suffering from any of the following symptoms. Firstly, you've got the weird belief that God is somewhere up there and you're here, and you've got this inferiority complex, you're nothing, and He's up there somewhere, and He's holy, busy with God business, and you're here. No, the new covenant mindset is God is here. If you want to see Him, go look in a mirror, that's where He is. Another one of the symptoms that you have as an old covenant minded person is you will always need a prophet, because people in the Old Testament did need a prophet. God worked through the prophet to bless the people because they couldn't have God inside of them the whole time. So you might say, okay, I don't need a prophet, I know I'm holy and blessed because of Jesus. Yes, but why do you have this weird addiction to go to church the whole time? And why do you feel you have to keep going there and keep doing these things in some way? My pastor is more anointed or more gifted and I'll never get to his level, but I need him for some reason. That's an old covenant mindset. The old covenant mindset is very big on sacrifice. So it is big on you doing stuff for yourself, you doing things to increase things, you sow and you reap. That's what it's all about. In the old covenant they used to kill goats, and they'd kill a goat and then in a short time they'd kill another one, and then in a short time they'd kill another one. And they didn't do that because the goat did anything for their sins, but it was a reminder to remind the people that none of those goats did anything for their sins. So their sins haven't been forgiven yet, but it was to point them to the real scapegoat, which would be Jesus. So it's always looking to the future. It's always God is going to do something, and it's always looking for when is God's season, when is God's time. If you're thinking according to that lines, then you are thinking an old covenant mindset. Another way of knowing is that because it's very big on sacrifice, everything is by works, and you work to get right with God. And the old covenant didn't show God's character, it showed His holiness. So God had to treat man the way a holy and a just God would treat fallen man. He had to remove Himself from man. He couldn't come in and just swoop in and save a day. And the new covenant shows God's character. It shows who He is, what He's like, what mood He has, what is His will. It shows all of that. Covenant mindset is always one where you are always trying to please your master because you do not know him and you're just trying to do right and do your best to get something from him. It is always, you're always talking a lot about grace, yet your whole lifestyle shows that everything is by works. Now the funny thing is, even Jesus Himself says you should live in the new covenant. He says it has better promises. So firstly, if Jesus says it then and He commands you to do that, then don't be disobedient. And secondly, don't be stupid. He's giving you a better option. So why would you want to live in the old? The old is always constantly talking about grace this and grace that, yet the whole lifestyle proves everything is by works. At this moment I've got my cell phone in my pocket. Now let's say you did not know that, and I would keep talking the whole time and saying, with my cell phone I can phone people, but without my cell phone I wouldn't be able to phone anybody. I can't phone anybody without my cell phone. Without my cell phone I couldn't phone anybody. I can't phone anybody without my phone. After a while you would wonder, does this guy have a phone? Does he need me to give him a phone? What's the deal here? Well, same thing with the grace thing. Why you keep talking as if you do not have grace? With God's grace I'm awesome, but without His grace, why is that even an option? You're not without His grace. And a lot of the old covenant mindset comes down to, you think if you do any minuscule thing that might be outside of God's secret and hidden will, that He'll be mad and turn into Zeus and smite you. And a lot of that just comes from insecure pastors and preachers who just want to control things. Now, if you've got any questions, any more questions about the old covenant mindset and how that works and everything, then stay tuned for the next video and they'll be answered. But remember, most people are looking for a phone call from God, and they've already got a letter. Be blessed.